Okay, so this video is going to walk you through one of our cold email scripts that we're using right now for one of our clients' campaigns. This is a script from a campaign that's performing really well, and this video is going to show you exactly why this script works, how it works, so that you can incorporate this into your own business using your own offer and niche and service that you provide. And so this is going to be really valuable because at the end of this video, you'll be able to create your own email copy, which will definitely be able to convert and assign you clients, get you appointments, whatever it is that you're looking to do from cold email. But before we do that, if you're not familiar with me, my name is Ben Lister, and I help business owners, agency owners by documenting all of my learnings, all my findings on this YouTube channel, which currently help me to make about multi-six figures per year. So let's dive into the computer and I'll walk you through it. Okay, so the first thing you'll note is that we have a 4-part email sequence here. This is not just one email that we send out and then we never send them another email again. We're going to consecutively reply to these guys 3 other times for a total of 4 emails. And I would separate these out between 2 and 3 business days. If you send this out on the first one on Monday, you probably want to send the second one by Wednesday or Thursday, then the third one by Tuesday or Wednesday the next week, and then the fourth one maybe by Friday or the following Monday, right? So we're talking about 2 weeks to do this 4 email sequence. And so let's just walk you through this, okay? So the first part here is going to be some kind of introduction. And what we want to do here is we want to basically introduce ourselves a little bit, and then we also want to give a bit of personalization. And so to be honest, we're not really introducing ourselves too much here. We're just sort of saying what we're doing. And so the idea here would be first name. So it would be John. I was looking for home improvement businesses on Google and noticed that, John's remodeling has 100 reviews on Google, yet still wasn't on the first page. So this is something where we are trying to find a problem that's inside of the business, right? So a lot of home improvement businesses, they would talk about being on the first page of Google. Many of them that actually are on the first page of Google will openly come out and say that in their sales calls, we're doing pretty well, we're on the first page of Google, whatever it may be. And so we're basically going to businesses and 99% of them aren't on the first page of Google. So we don't need to go and find out if they are in the first place. We can just say that you aren't. If someone responds and say, we are on the first page of Google, we can respond and say, hey, well, when I searched for you, you weren't on there, right? So obviously there's a bit of workaround that we're doing here. Now, the personalization, of course, which is the obvious one, is the first name and the business name. And the one that takes a little bit more skill is the review number. So there's many apps where you can go and actually source these businesses' review numbers. There's a popular tool right now called Clay, where you can just go and use it's like an enrichment tool. And so you can put your leads into there and it will go and find the business name on Google, and it will go and put how many reviews they have, what rating they have, things like that. And so we can get a very specific number here, because if some company has 47 Google reviews and you respond to them or send them an email saying hey, I've seen that you have 47 Google reviews but you still aren't on the first page, even though that really isn't linked, it's not as if the more reviews you get, the higher up the Google rankings you go. This is something where we're basically just showing that we've done a little bit more research into them, even though we have done this at scale. So it looks like a personalized email, right? Like someone has just gone on their phone and they've typed this thing out and they've said, hey, I've seen you got 47 Google reviews, but I didn't actually see you on the first page. And so now we're creating a problem or just exaggerating a problem that might already exist in the business. So if John here, the business owner, has maybe been trying to get on the first page, or he's noticed that he's not on the first page and some of his competitors are, then now we're going to start to actually, we're starting to raise a bit of red flags here. We're starting to basically say, we're aware of this issue and we're trying to sort of egg the issue on a little bit. And so once we've done that, the next part is actually a bit of a remedy, right? And so now we're talking about, we've created this issue, but we haven't explicitly said, have you thought about this issue? Are you trying to fix this issue? And now we're basically saying, are you looking to actually fix this? Have you thought about getting the business to the first page of Google? And so now we're actually going out. We're not just, we're not being very vague with it. We're just openly coming out and saying, have you thought about getting there? Rather than just saying, I noticed you weren't on there. And so the reason that I ask is that we help local businesses, and obviously you can change this to home improvement businesses, to land on the first page so they can receive an extra 50 leads each month using a few proven strategies. So this really is the offer. And so we are not just saying we can get you onto the first page, because that's great, right? Everyone wants to be on the first page, but why do they want to be on the first page? Well, they want to be on the first page because they're going to get leads, right? Inbound leads. People are going to come to them, and those are usually, pretty solid leads. And so if we say that we get businesses to land on the first page, and that usually gets them an extra 50 leads every single month, then now we're starting to talk about something that's really tangible, right? We're not just giving them something which is, a little bit sort of symbolic, like getting onto the first page. We're saying, yeah, you get onto the first page, but it also means you get an extra 50 leads every single month, which is obviously, now we're talking about an offer. We're talking about the actual result of the service that we have. And we're not giving away the actual system that we use. We're not saying we do that with SEO, we do that with blog posting, we do that with, increasing your Google reviews, whatever it may be, with a few proven strategies. And so this is we could probably word this a little bit better, to be honest with you, but we're just starting to get the cogs to whir in their brain a bit and just thinking, what are these proven strategies? How on earth do they do this? They clearly know that we've got a certain amount of Google reviews. They've clearly done this before because they're talking about specifics about getting 50 leads for their, previous clients. What are these strategies? And so the way that they're going to get these strategies is by jumping on a call with you. And so when they have that curiosity of, okay, what's going on here? These people are going to be thinking, I need to find this out. And so I'm going to either ask a question like what system do you use? What strategies do you use? They're going to reply. And so then we would just turn it around and say, I would love to show you and tell you, but I think it's better on a call because I want to walk you through it and actually demo the system out. It isn't really worth explaining over email because it might get confusing or something along those lines. And so this is why we don't actually reveal the specific strategies that we're using at this stage. So the next part is a bit of heavy personalization and a bit of a case study, a bit of a testimonial. And so this here requires a little bit more personalization. And so we can say, we made you a quick video showing you the improvements that you could make that other businesses work with use to make $18,304 per month. So there's a lot going on here, right? And so if I just move this down a little bit more, you'll see as well that we tag in a little loom here, okay? And so the improvements that they make, this would be something that would be very, very generic, right? And so we might have a video going through their website. We might have a video where we've put them through some kind of SEO checker, right? So you can put a website into an SEO checker or website, and it will say, oh, your SEO score is, 80 out of 100, right? And we can say, okay, there's a few things in here that we can look at, and obviously this makes a lot of sense to us. It's clear you're not doing this, this, and this. And so this is where we can do a lot of heavy personalization, even though it is automated, right? Because we're saying the same thing, and we're basically just using different websites to actually do this, okay? But what we're doing here is we're giving them something which is heavily personalized. And then we're also saying, we actually did this for Steve's remodeling, right? Who's also in Florida, whatever it may be. And we actually got him an extra $18,304 per month. Now, we use a very specific number there. I think a lot of people actually say you should use an odd number, so it looks more specific. But basically what we're doing here is if we just said $18,000 per month, that's just kind of it looks like an average. Maybe we've just rounded that up a bit. But if we use a very specific amount that we've used for, a client that they've used, then it looks very, very realistic. It looks like we've actually just gone and, give them a very specific example of, Steve's remodeling in Florida, whatever it may be. And so now we have a really convincing argument here that our service actually works. We have the proof of that, and we give a lot of personalization. So this really looks like we are the ones that are reaching out to them. This isn't an automated strategy, even though it is, okay? And so there's a lot of different ways to put looms in there. You can do it manually, to be honest with you. It wouldn't take you all that much time. And if you did do 50 of these per day, you'd get some crazy, crazy results, to be honest with you. But moving on to the next part. This is literally just the CTA. Now, a lot of people get hung up on the CTA, and I don't think, to be honest with you, it doesn't really affect all that much. As long as you're just basically saying the same thing, can we get on a call? If you have a moment soon, could I walk you through how we can get you these leads and get you on the first page of Google? So we're doing two things here. Obviously, we are telling them about the result, the leads. We could say the 50 leads, to be honest with you. But then we're also reiterating again, we're not forgetting about Google. We're reiterating that problem that they had initially, right? And we can get you on the first page of Google. And so we're not talking about a specific call here. So it's kind of a soft call to action. We're not saying, can we jump on a 45-minute call or whatever? We're just saying, can I walk you through this? If you have a moment soon, so it's being very sort of passive, we're not saying, are you free on Tuesday at 4 p.m., right? It's, if you have a moment soon, could I walk you through this, right? And to be honest with you, I think you don't really need a super strong and hard call to action if you are giving enough personalization in your initial email. So, the first part of the email, if you're keeping this pretty personalized, you are making it so the offer's pretty good, you're making it so, we're showing case studies and stuff like that, you don't need to be super pushy. But yeah, I wouldn't be too hung up on the call to action, to be honest. This is pretty straightforward. And so then, like I said, 2 or 3 business days later, we would go for the second email. And this is literally it. So because we've sent some kind of personalization in here, we've sent a Loom video, we've sent something which is, maybe like a case study or something, we can just say, did you see this blank, right? Something like that, because all that we want, the purpose of the second email is not to say anything else, because we don't need to say anything else. And if we do say something else, if we do add to the whatever we're saying, then what's going to start to happen is we're sort of taking away from that curiosity by just giving them. If we then said, for example, in the next email, if we just said, hey, this is one of our strategies, this is what we do, we do this, this, and this, it wouldn't make sense, okay? Simply because then we're going to start to sort of feed their curiosity and they're not going to want to jump on a call. But if they see an email and they obviously didn't see the first one, if they just see the second one, did you see that video I sent over? If I text you that, did you see that video I sent over? You're just going to be like, what on earth? Like, you sent me a video? What video is this? Like, I have to see what this video is, right? Because no one sends me a video. Why would you send me a video? It's just this like rabid curiosity that would easily get someone. And it works pretty well, and people would see it, and obviously it's linked in a chain, so they just easily see it, and I think it actually is connected to this email. So if they open this for the first time, I think it would show them this one first. So they would get a notification, did you see that video I sent over? And then they would see this one. So yeah, it's a pretty cool strategy. And then the third one, by now we would think that someone that would actually seen one of these, most people would have, they would have opened it or, ignored it and something like that. So now we need to say a little bit more. And so this is what the third email is for. And so we can reiterate the fact that they are at the review number, right? And because this is only going to be like 4 or 5 days later, we can sort of hedge our bets a little bit, and we can say, I can see that you're still at the number of reviews you're on, right? We're not going to regenerate the new review number, because in order to do that, it would take a lot of work. You would have to basically do sort of two different enrichment campaigns, which might be a lot of work, to be honest. You'd have to upload the leads again halfway through the campaign, which is a bit more work. And so we can say, I see you're still at review number. Are you doing anything about getting on the first page? Here's a video made for you again. So we're reiterating the first email again. We're not talking about anything specifically. We're just asking the same question. Have you thought about getting on the first page? Are you doing anything to get onto the first page? Right. So it's the same thing. We're just saying it in a different way. But now we're giving a little bit more context. We're sort of jogging their memory a bit, and we're giving that personalization in there because we've gone for the review number. And we're also showing them the Loom again, so there's no way they'd actually miss that. And then the fourth email, basically, so I'll show you here what we're doing. So this is basically the same as this one, right? What are your thoughts on that video? Did you see that video? Same as that. But then we also had something in here which is, in my opinion, and if I do say so myself, this is pretty genius, right? And so this is something that we use on all our campaigns. This is something which is super, super, super powerful. And so for some reason, people like to say, and I get cold emails all the time, this is my last email, right? They'll send 3 or 4 emails and they say, this is my last email. And I can't for the life of me understand why you would do that. Simply because if I've ignored your first 3 emails and then you send me a 4th one saying, if you don't respond now, I'm never going to respond. I'm never going to send you an email again. Well, of course I'm not going to respond, because I didn't respond to the first 3 ones. So why now, because I'm not going to get a 4th one or a 5th one, why would I not respond? Why would I respond now, right? Of course I would not respond, because I wasn't interested the first 3 times. And so we need to create something here where we're actually doing something where people are going to think, I have to respond to this person, or not just, if I just don't respond to this person ever again, then they will just never respond again. They will never reply to me. So the way that I get rid of this person is by not responding. But in this instance, when I'm going to say, or I'll keep following up until you're interested, they're thinking, oh my God, if I don't respond to this person now, I might be speaking to this person for the rest of the year. He might never stop responding to me. And that's what you want. Because if someone actually thinks that, if someone actually thinks, this guy's crazy, he's going to send me 10 emails, I'm going to have to say something to them in order to get him to stop, right? And so a lot of people, you'll get a lot more people just telling you, hey, stop, I'm not interested for this one. I'm not interested, so stop following up. But you do get a lot of people who basically respond to this with a question, with something to do with the service. It's not a complete no. And this is what we're looking for on the 4th email, because if they've seen, the first email, the second email, the third email, they've seen these time and time again, right? And you've gone through the last 2 weeks sending them emails, you need something here which is basically going to be a little bit actually different than those other ones. And maybe, for example, maybe there's something in there, right? Maybe there's something about the offer that they think is a little bit interesting. They haven't completely said no, or they've said like, look, I admire your persistence, but this is just not something we're looking at right now because of this. And so then you can start a conversation about whatever they've talked about, right? You can say something else. And so we're really just looking to have a conversation at this point because they've ignored the offer, they've ignored the personalization. And so now we just want to get them to say something so we can have this conversation. And so this is why it works pretty well. We've actually found that the reply rate on the fourth email is like 10 to 20% higher than the third email for a lot of campaigns that we have now when we run something like this. And that's ignoring the fact that if you just leave it for 2 weeks, people will respond because they check their emails after like 2 weeks or something. This is after like 2 or 3 days, people respond to the fourth one. Even positive responses, more than the third one as well when we put something like this in there. So yeah. It works pretty well. So you can easily see here how you can actually incorporate this to change, home improvement businesses to, landscape businesses. You can change this for, SEO, getting on front page Google, to getting leads through Facebook ads, right? Or something like that, okay? But obviously you want to make sure that you're not specifically talking about Facebook ads here. You're talking about maybe, getting leads online or something, right? So it's not specific. You're talking about, multiple revenue streams, multiple ways of getting leads. You're not relying on referrals, something like that. So you could say, I was looking for landscape businesses on Google, noticed you had this many reviews. Are you just relying on Google reviews, or are you just relying on Google to actually generate leads? We found that many local businesses in your area are using 3, 4, 5 methods to go and generate leads for their business. Something like that, right? So we've figured out a problem. Obviously, your niche and your service is going to be, you'll know it quite well. So you will know what makes sense. Obviously, home improvement businesses, SEO, this is something that we do all the time. But if you are doing content creation, you might know a problem that a LinkedIn content creator has that you could easily talk about, right? So it still requires you to have a bit of creativity. It's not just a copy-paste model. But yeah, basically 90% of the work has been done for you here. So I hope you get a lot of value from it. If you use it, let me know how many leads you generate from this. Let me know what kind of appointments that you generate. And I'm sure you could sign quite a few clients from this. So yeah, if you're looking for clients for your agency, just click the first link in the description. It's not some email opt-in, some like phone number opt-in. No one's going to be blasting you cold emails or phone numbers or anything like that. It's literally just a video of me and my company explaining what we do, how we've done this many times before, and why it works so well. But yeah, you don't have to click it. I don't really care if you do. I'm still making these videos no matter what. But yeah, if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.